like
Or where he
Spielberg
records like,
will yeah, just be like, oh, just act natural. We're not recording. We're not recording, and then boom, they're recording. I could have done that. Yeah. So for those that are
you know,
hearing over the music, yeah, Jeff was doing like gaffer filling in his classic radio disc
classic.
jockey voice, and I
It's a
was like,
classic Jeff maneuver, if we're being 100% honest.
but I should have kept it in. You're not on
You,
camera, so you can't do the you can't do the mocking me thing.
hold on 1 second.
Oh, radio guys, 1 second. So
No, it's okay. It's all good.
we can't see
It's
anything.
all good.
All right, so let's start. This seems like a good headliner to me. Let's go with the headliner, Jeff. So, all right. Today is Christmas themed. As some in the past may have noticed, I thought I was going to take the end of the year off from I Must Drake You, work, life, everything else. But I got Jeff, let me turn off the top light, a really cool Christmas gift. And here it is, Jeff. It's a DVD copy of He-Man and She-Ra Christmas special.
Oh, Dre, you really, really shouldn't have.
But anyway, I'm going to throw this out that this was actually a gift to me from a friend in the channel, Landon, who.
Oh, shout out to
he,
Landon.
this was a gift. Okay, so ready for another young dumb Dre story? Because as we've learned on many episode of Nerd, I am a monster. So I got
Correct.
invited to a Christmas party, and like I didn't bring anything for anybody, and then like a couple of them got everybody gifts. And then I was like, it doesn't matter. I'm like, I didn't get anybody gifts, but I'm not expecting anything. And they're like, hey, Dre, and we found you this DVD of He-Man and She-Ra Christmas special. So it was like the perfect, thoughtful gift. And I was like, you are all assholes. And I'm still friends with all of them like 20 years later because that's how awesome they are. So anyway.
Yeah, that's what it is. The thing about going to like any kind of holiday party is I always bring.
Yes.
I always bring something. You bring a generic. It used to be easy when DVDs, like before streaming, the big thing was like find a movie that has recently come out that you can get for an affordable price and then bring it with you. So like, oh, this movie just came out. Like it's a nice $15 protection, or at least it used to be.
So I've actually bought you one of these just as a to be nice thing. But let's see if I can smoothly transition over to there. This has been my like go-to gift of choice for the season. So in fact, I sent him one in the mail, but these Kringles. So that's
you got that for Lisa, actually.
Yeah, well, because Lisa gave you you recorded, was it Double Dragon, the episode you recorded of Nerd?
We recorded the episode on Double Dragon there,
yeah,
yes.
Yeah, everything like that week was just a mess and you needed a place to record and Lisa's was the only place. So you went there and she like stopped home really quick and then she's like, you look hungry, and gave you like a cherry thing. And I was like, oh, we're going to have to pay that back tenfold. So I got you a cherry Kringle with Door County cherries. And Logan says, bring a BLT. Okay, I've got lots of stories. So here's what we're going to do, Jeff.
Yeah, you should bring a BLT.
I've got more stories to tell, but that puts us in a good spot for our break. So we're gonna end this with the gift for Jeff, which Jeff has already seen.
Wait. Let's not roll past the fact that you can get Kringle subscriptions.
Yeah, don't tell me that. I know that's on the screen, Jeff, but I try not to read that shit. That's not healthy for me.
That's like a pretty phenomenal scenario for being 100%.
The other thing here, the Door County or the Uncle Mike's Kringle shop. They opened one out here, and they also serve wood fire pizza, which is amazing. It's one of my favorite
damn.
stores.
What about like a pepperoni Kringle or whatever it's called?
Well, I mean, you could. I'll ask them about it. All right. So let's do station identification up top. Welcome to I Must Drake You, one of many great shows you can find here at Jeff Has Cool Cards. If you have found yourself here by autoplay or just didn't realize it, hit the subscribe button, hit the like, because Jeff goes live Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Central Time, or 3 p.m. Pacific. Let me try this again, Jeff.
What are you talking about? What are you doing, Drake?
Jeff does I Must Break You, 1 p.m. Pacific Time, 3 p.m. Central Time, most Wednesdays. On non-holiday weeks, I try and do I Must Break You, 8:30 p.m. Central, 6:30 p.m. Pacific Time.
You mean I Must Drake You?
I Must Drake You. Jeff, this is why I wanted to take the time off, but the world is a cool place and there's too much cool stuff to show off.
You know what, Dre? This isn't work though. This is just me and you hanging out on Zoom,
Yeah.
not looking at each other's faces.
As you do with
Um,
most people, just don't we yeah, if you've ever met Jeff in person, he's one of the most affable, nice people. But if you start looking at him, he's like, don't look me in the eye. And if you try,
no, no
he'll
eye
like
contact.
he'll
No,
slap you.
no eye
Yeah,
contact
no,
allowed.
not
Yeah,
allowed.
no.
Absolutely not. But yeah, so basically, that like I said, Jeff has cool cards. Like and subscribe if you haven't. We know you're here because you're watching, but if you're more here, it helps us even more. Put stuff in the comments. Make fun of my inability to speak at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. And then, of course, you can head over to patreon.com, Jeff May. Get even more stuff, including cards sent to you in the mail. Not Dre's cards. I keep those for me. This is a Christmas-themed episode and story time. I've got some fun stories, but we're going to start with these. So this is a fun gift of the Magi thing, and I actually really want to know the timeline. So if you go back, Jeff has cool cards. Look in the I Must Break You backlog. Jeff opened a box. I'm actually really jealous, Jeff, because you got these. These are mutagen canister kits. These are by Mark Pignator, who is a Garbage Pail Kid artist, but he also gets his own licenses, does his own cards. And this is going to sound really nerdy. I like his stuff more than I like Garbage Pail Kids. Like I like Garbage Pail Kids, but his just, even though they're in Garbage Pail theme, I kind of like
They're in the style of in the garbage pail style, yes.
yeah, they are the theme, but then like his own little flair, I just kind of like a little more. Okay, Jeff, this is like a puzzle. How do I open this? I can see the top there. I don't want to rip this box. It is a nice box. I was debating on previous shows if I should just keep this in plastic forever. And it did seem to be on the comments section. Oh, that's weird. There we go. So that's how. Oh, cool. This does like the classic box thing. So this one here, Jeff, you
Yeah.
could do the flip. That is so cool. Mark's the man.
Yep,
So
it's a
yeah,
nice little display box. Yeah.
love it. Okay. So I did actually ask in the comments, should I keep these forever enshrined in plastic? Because this is a complete set. The cool thing about this one is this box here that you can go at magicmarkerart.com, I believe is his site. And
Hmm.
you can buy like a complete sealed set. So this is all the cards that he has in the set. But then we got you a box where you could actually break it.
Yeah,
And
so that
that's,
and that had like foils in it and stuff.
I don't know how that happened on the end. This undercover Glover got bent on the end, but I'm not gonna lose sleep.
Undercover Glover, huh?
I
Well, I'll
love it.
take a look. Maybe I have an extra one I can send you.
Please don't worry. Other people need the cards more than me. But here's the story time
Trey,
on that.
Trey, you know I have like extra cards, right?
You have so many cards, I can't even imagine because I've seen all your breaks. All right, so I don't know if they're in the chat, but fan of the show, Walker, um, is one of the people that routinely we have a lot of back and forth with.
Yeah,
I
friend
saw
of the show. Yeah.
a huge friend of the show, unofficial. I'd say there's some tier that he is unofficially at because like me, he'll sponsor breaks, and one day in the future we might do more of that. But that's neither here nor there. But I saw these cards and I pinged him and I said, "Hey, I think I'd like to get a box of these for Jeff. Would you like to go in on that?" And he was like, "Absolutely." I'm sad my inability to tell time zones, Jeff. I missed getting you the printing plate, they sold out in under an hour, and I was off by an hour because I confused Eastern and Central Time. But we got you the cool
Hmm.
box, and then I got these sent to me in the mail, and I opened the box, and at first I was like, "Oh my god, did Mark screw up and send me?" Like I was supposed to send those to Jeff. Did he send them to me? And then I pinged you and was like, "Hey, just a question, you bastard." So basically, myself and Walker went halvesies on a box of these for Jeff, and Jeff and Walker went halvesies on a box of these for me. Cause we're
Yeah.
fucking nerds, man. I'll waste the one F bomb on our. You're allowed to curse a little on these shows, just not a ton. But that's the nerd family we got going on over at patreon.com/Jeff May. So this is a complete set. We have seen that. I'll just go through these really quick. And Jeff broke some of these. And again, if you go over to patreon.com, Jeff May, you can get those. Some of those sent to you in the mail. And you got like the cool. I don't think this one is going to have any of the cool shiny ones that you got. Those are super rad.
Yeah.
So we got Melty Mike. Oh, I'll take a look. And there is sticker that there is a what a poster sticker on the back you can put together, which is rad.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, I might do that at the end when we're like breaking down. So Calubunga, the best of the turtles, Dweeby Dawn. And so here's what I was gonna say. Some more storytelling. I just forgot the name, but it is a Chicago style hot dog place that they have. And then they actually have one in Milwaukee. So for my kiddo's birthday, we went up to Milwaukee to take him on a helicopter ride. And
Classic.
I went and got him a Chicago dog, Enlightened Leo. That's hilarious. Aw, that's just Marshall farts.
Oh, wait, I was gonna say Marshall Farts was one of the most requested ones
Hmm,
that I had.
interesting. Well, we'll see. It's part of his. We'll see what I do with that anyway. But I don't know. I love his style. Like these are so. These have been
Yeah.
some of my favorites. I think I. Let me ask you a question because I know Walker, who is in chat. Hey, Walker, was a big fan of these. You were aware of Mark though before Walker, right? Because I know Walker has sponsored a few
Maybe,
breaks with
but
this guy.
maybe not. I don't know. I'm gonna give Walker the credit of owning that. Like I'm gonna say that Walker probably did it.
And we thank you so much for this, Walker. Mark Pignator.
Yeah.
Let me just do kind of station identification for him really quick. So don't fall over you cards. So you
What,
can you
like
can
at Magic Marker Art?
that's the one. Yep. And let me just get the site. I believe I've been saying it correctly, but just in case, we'll go over here. But yep, magic marker art dot it's if you do magic marker art it's dot storeenvy.com, but if you just look up either Mark Pignator or magic marker art you'll
Yeah,
get
just go
here.
to his Instagram. Honestly, just go to his Instagram. It's at Magic Marker Art. That he has links that'll take you all the way
Magic
over there too.
marker art. This page is not available and I'm not going to show like personal Instagram. We'll go back to breaking and I'll come there. Okay, but anyway, so huge thanks to Walker for introducing us to this. Like I mentioned, kind of gift of the Magi for us, giving each other gifts. You have at this point met Mark in person. I think you saw him at a con, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, and I've bought some pins off of him and a couple of packs of cards.
Good stuff. Yeah, if there's ever, and it's one of those interesting things. So I really want to shout out another thing that you do that we all know, I hope. And if we don't, you should know this. Jeff has one of the best podcasts out there called Jeff Has Cool Friends. And you'd be shocked to hear
Hmm.
this, but Jeff has a lot of cool friends, and you have amazing guests on your show. And periodically on the Patreon, patreon.com/Jeff May. Look how I'm going through all of those. Bordy Rake. Oh, that's a hilarious one. You've seen all these already, but these I'm getting to see them again because I saw them on your
Yeah, no,
stream, Jeff.
I
These
love
these
that.
are I love these, and this sticker is going to be funny. But what I was going to say is sometimes you'll say like, hey, if you people have any guests you want me to hear, just let me know because you have a lot of cool friends that some of us know. People like there are friends that you yourself would point up. I'd say like Dan Slott's a good one where you're like, I know, I would love to have him on the show. Our schedules don't align, but yeah, put those pings into Jeff so he knows, and then could even use those as I don't want to say ammunition. What's a nicer term? But you can go to your friends and say, hey, look at the comments on my Patreon feed. Look at the comments on my YouTube channel that say, my fans love you. Oh, so rock steady
Yeah.
before. It's definitely cool. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I like
Mark
that. I like
Pignator,
that he did those same versions.
if there's ever a chance to get him on the show, that would be really cool. If I
Oh,
can put
Mark, yeah, that would be fun.
and I know it's interesting because you kind of go, you have like the degrees of separation. So of course you have your close friends that the people you've met, people over the years. Some of these people going back decades, which is wild, right? You have some of your like now big friends are people that you met at a convention like in your college or high school years and years ago, and then reconnect years and years later.
Oh yeah.
Ryan, no. Jack Horner. So yeah, I would throw that out. And then actually, Jeff, if you are comfortable, this is something we occasionally do on the I Must Drake You show when times align. Do you want to plug any of the upcoming Jeff Has Cool Friends?
Sure, I don't mind. I don't mind bringing that up.
Oh,
So the
this
next
oh, that's
episode,
so cool. I'm sorry. And I, of course, this is the classic I
wow.
must Drake you. The second I ask Jeff a question is the second I'm going to either break my case, my box hit if we're breaking a box, or find the really cool card, the Super Shredder. And then, yep, Kevin Nash reference, king size Kevin.
Yeah.
And by the way, shout out to Kevin Nash, who I saw a YouTube link where he was saying exactly what you were saying about the Logan Paul Mike Tyson fight. Like the title was literally like the fight was a work, you morons, or something. So you and Kevin Nash, similar ideas. But
Yeah.
anyway, upcoming
Yeah,
guests
we've
on
also both hit on my ex-wife.
yeah, hmm, and I'm going to avoid any jokes. Okay, so let's go. Guests, upcoming guests on Jeff Has Cool Friends. The next one, if I'm not mistaken, is one I think I even requested on Patreon.
He's one of my most requested guests, actually. You're not the only person to frequently request him, but it is good friend and custom slash bootleg toy maker, Randall Maynard.
Okay, by the way, can I have a request out of you? Can we hear your crane voice? You got a good
My
one?
crying voice, man, my voice is bad. Shredder.
That's pretty
Or
solid.
it's not very
Sorry,
good.
Jeff. I'm like inviting you here to get you a gift, and I'm like dance, Jeff. So sorry about that. But okay, yeah. But what are your most requested, which is not
I don't
shocking?
think I pulled that card at all.
Well,
That
Jeff. Now I'm
the
gonna have to look.
Dimension Rex, the Dimension Rex one. I don't. That one does not look familiar. I do not think I pulled a set
Oh,
out of the
interesting. I
box
would
or
have
anything.
assumed a full. That actually makes it cooler. And like I have lots of questions that may even come up when we get to your gift about like things that would be fun, to do, like custom cards. And I would actually be really curious to hear from Mark, like how you go about making custom costs, etc. Because they're fun
Well,
ideas.
that's a lot of what I talked about with Randall. So is me being like, well, where do you come up with an idea to do one of these things, you know? And so we'll talk about that. And if you are, you don't even like this show slash Unpops fan, I do very specifically ask about the thing you all want me to ask about.
I pinged you a little bit before you recorded today. Appreciated that, Jeff, for the time. And it was funny because it was one of those where I'm like, I really, really want to hear about this, but I also don't want to like that like thing of like you don't want to say anything risking ruining anything. And I am glad you brought that up. Oh yeah, I forget who did this in the. Have you seen the most recent, the Seth
Like
Rogen?
Mondo Gecko?
Yeah, have you seen the Seth Rogen?
Yeah. Isn't
Yeah,
that Andy Samberg?
is that who did it? Yeah, or it might be, but I just remember I really liked it. And I actually remember if you go through the Nerd Back catalog, we did a one of my favorite episodes, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze, with my brother Daniel Alvarez, who I was telling you today, Jeff, keeps texting me to tell me how you are right in our podcast arguments. He's like, remember you
Yeah,
and Jeff were arguing about this on an episode? I'm like, yeah. He's like, Jeff was right. I'm like, stop
he's
texting me.
right.
I'm like, sorry, I'm gonna
He's a
have to
good
block you,
man, that
Daniel.
Daniel Alvarez.
He is a good egg. He is one of the coolest people I know.
I
Oh
like.
yeah, by the
Did they
way,
just do like? And so that one right there, when you were looking at the Mecha Turtle, did he does one that's just Roy Bott, right? Does he?
yep,
Yeah,
robot.
I think that's what a great homage that he based, because that's like a very famous Garbage Pail Kid is Roy Bott, and he's that in that same
I was not
pose.
aware of that.
Yeah, so the Roy Bott Garbage Pail Kid famously, it looks like kind of a transformer.
Can give me 1 second. I'm actually gonna, why not? We got time.
Look him up. Look him up.
I'm gonna do that, but I also am gonna do that first. And garbage pail kids, you can enjoy. So is it ROE bot though?
Roy, like
But it wouldn't
not
be
Roe.
ROY because this one is robot.
Yeah, but it's the same pose. Watch, go to Roy Bot.
Okay, so let's see. I could have done like TCDB.
I mean, all I see is just the card there.
Okay, no,
I
I'm
didn't see
going.
you doing any research. You lazy ass. See? So he is making that an homage
Yeah,
specifically to that specific card.
super
And this is why you have me here.
super producer Jeff would be hilarious on shows. All right, anyway, so and I'll go back to so there's that card. And there's back to that. So there, 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 back and forth. And then actually, since I was able to get this up, magic marker art. Yeah, I forget. It's so weird on different socials. You don't do the at in front of them. Um, so it's just magic marker art. Good stuff, as Jeff mentioned. And I mean, around 15,000 followers. I mean, he's big, but he needs to be bigger. He is that cool. So Mark Pignator is amazing. I'm going to do chat check in. I'm not as worried because when you're in the chat, Jeff, you're talking to people. But
Yeah, I'm
Oliver,
here.
nice to say, hey, people are excited about Randall and the Spider-Man fan film he made with you and Tom. I love that. Is that a real thing? Is Oliver talking real there?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one where I'm playing like a teacher in the teacher's room with Peter and them.
I'm going to need a link to that after the show. I don't want to dive too much more time into the research area, but Jeff, I'm going to need to see that after this.
Huh.
Um all right, so yeah, Randall Maynard, awesome stuff. Yeah, I have questions. I mean, some of his action figures are just amazing. He did a custom Jeff one. I'm assuming it'll come up. Of course, I bought the
Spock.
Spock, but that one I think the reason it was easier is I think you mentioned this to me is because basically he was able to take a
Yeah.
Star Wars figure and just put a Spock head on it. He didn't have to make it from scratch.
So in the world in that world that's called a kit bash.
Kit
So a
bash.
kit bash means that you don't have to go out of your way to change alter anything other than putting pieces of toys together. There's
What?
no
By the way,
like
question for you because I didn't know. I know you actually said it on the episode with David Igo and
yeah.
Eric Barnes, but the upcoming Monsters, those are similar, right? They have interchangeable pieces. And what is that called when you have like action figures from the same line? He-Man figures kind of do this too, right? Where you could take their
Well,
torsos
you
off.
just re oh, so oh, you mean
If you can
like
like have the interchangeable parts on action figures, so you could in theory make your own
oh,
Razor.
I mean that's just like swappable heads. You could say that. I do want to shout out somebody who is watching though. Oliver A did come um to the last mint on card, the Holly Jolly unpierced left nipple cider served at room temperature. Fa la 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 la. Uh, he came and he was like right next to David Igo, and I don't know if he knew that or not. And then we talked to him, he was like, "Oh yeah, I gave to your Kickstarter," and Dave was like, "What, dude?" Like he was like so stoked. It
Those are
was
so
wonderful
cool.
to see.
One of my so that, by the way, Oliver, you are awesome. Also, like Oliver on Oliver's Instagram, I don't know how public that is, but if it to your comfort level, Oliver, you're free to share it in the chat. You did like a tick style drawing that is just freaking awesome that I love that he did back in the day. And I have a funny similar story about conferences. I went to a nerdy convention in Boston of all places. It's the Sloan Analytics MIT conference, and I sat in the front row and was saving a seat for a friend. And a guy comes up and is like, "Hey, can I sit there?" And I was like, "Oh, it's seats taken, basically." And then another cool guy that worked with a basketball website that I'm good friends with, and I'm forgetting his name because that's how good of a friends. To be fair, it was like 15 years ago at this point, Jeff. He tapped me and he's like, "He's the co-author of the paper you're sitting in the front row for." So I was like, "Oh, all right." And that guy was really cool. His name was Eric Weiss, and he is awesome. So anyway,
You
freaking
should have been like, "Yeah, take the fucking seat, man."
he no, he did take the seat, but that's what I'm saying. The other guy like had to tap me and be like, "No, you're giving him the seat, dude." And I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry about that, man." Oh, love that. These are such nice cards.
Zach giving us some info about the Hasbro's new Transformers with interchangeable limbs and things like that.
Oh yeah, and Zach, I know in chat is definitely gonna get. I'm pretty sure you probably saw it, Zach. But yeah, I took my kid on a helicopter ride for his 8th birthday. I thought you would get a kick out of that. Oh, this card. It's hard to say. There's so many good ones, but the
Yeah,
septic surfing Mike and Hang Tanner. This card is just gorgeous. Like
yeah.
this is so
Walker's talking
90s.
about the Glyos system, which Mighty Maniacs uses, and my ex's cousin, I believe, is the creator of the Glyos system.
Interesting.
I don't know if I pulled any of the Surfer mics.
You have now given, you know me, I'm a data guy. You have now given me a project, Jeff, where now I kind of want to go through. I'm gonna rewatch your thing, help out the channel's metrics, and like start checking off which ones you saw. I forgot to
Yeah.
finish up my story about going to the Chicago Dog place, which Logan and I were talking back and forth on. Two things. They have a chocolate cake milkshake, which I didn't realize, and I didn't order. I
That
just
sounds
ordered normal
that
chocolate.
sounds incredible and deadly.
Yes, I am. In hindsight, when Logan asked if I got it, I was like, no, I just got normal chocolate. I wish I would have gotten the chocolate cake milkshake at this point. And the other comment, Jeff, is there was a guy in there that I think was just a customer, but he was wearing a shirt that said, fuck LeBron James, Michael Jordan is the GOAT. But because it's a Chicago Dog place, I'm like, you know, is that like in every location or, just this one? All right.
Yeah, we have one of these everywhere.
Yeah. One other thing, shouting out my brother Daniel, and we'll see how reflective that is. But he recently got married, and
Oh,
as a groomsman gift, he got custom Funko Pops made for all of his groomsmen. This is me. I'm gonna have to give you an upgraded picture too for the ones you use on all the images for the nerd episodes,
oh,
Jeff.
when we make nerd stuff.
Yeah, because I've got a full on beard now. So he got that, and then I am holding a chess piece there. So this was a gift from my brother Dan, because this
Oh,
is the
that's cool.
gift show. All right, I'm trying to think of anything else before we get to the main event. And there is a lot to go on in the main event. And I may, just so you're aware, because basically I'm going to be pulling an image from my Google Drive, I may flip back and forth between it as we talk. So I'll try and just get some cards out there
Mhm.
to look cool, and then maybe swum out. All right, so let me start. And let's see how. Yeah, it looks all right. I'm okay with that. So, Jeff, for Christmas, I wanted to get Jeff a Christmas tree. And what I wound up doing is I hit up Michael Vincent Brandley, aka MV Bramley, aka MVB, who does some of the artwork for most of like the things you like in the crack diaspora. A lot of
Yeah,
the small beans, gamefully
lot
unemployed.
of gainfully unemployed small beans work. Yeah, really incredible
Yeah, heard
artist.
about him recently. This is good and bad in that there was a recent episode with Tom Ryman where a thing came up, and go listen to that episode. Jeff explains it well. I don't want to get too much down
Oh,
that
well,
rabbit
I
hole.
you want to go down the rabbit hole of me basically putting my foot in my mouth about one very insanely improbable to have that affect a person that's listening to the show scenario. But yes, I misread an entire scenario and talked shit on the scenario and the person involved in the scenario, and it turns out I didn't know enough, and that person fucking listened to the show. The odds are astronomically low for that.
Oh yeah, MVB, didn't they sing Poison? I love it. Okay, but then and part of the reason I'm actually not going as far down that is it's not actually as much foot in the mouthness, because you did what I wish more people in this world would do, Jeff. You were very quick to apologize. You were very deferential. You looked it up. You made sure to do a proper retraction. You did it across multiple channels. That is the person Jeff is. All right. So, by the way, that was I approached MVB about, and the reason I'm bringing that up is like that put him on my radar. So it's like a good bad thing where like I had always been a fan of his work. He had just done the what is it, Batical artwork for the Gamefully Unemployed
Mhm.
Network. Because that did it, I was like, heck yeah. And like some of my favorite arts, the Spiel Boys artwork on Gamefully Unemployed, as well as the Gamefully Unemployed one that I think, what does it have you doing in that, Jeff? You're punching something, right? Um,
I think I'm like a game piece or something like
we will look that up
the
in just
one.
a second. But by the
Yeah,
way, I will
it's one of those things
show
where it's like Tom and Dave, and then I think I'm just like a little game piece or something.
I will show the final product. And this was so outside of what I was asking for originally, because I basically
Yeah,
approached
it's
him and
so
said,
good.
"You." I was like, "You have these kind of that the classic, yeah, the Struzen artwork. And that
Yeah.
is one thing. If whenever this goes public, if you tag, I'm going to tag Drew Struzen if you do as well. But just that kind
Huh.
of thing. The Struzen style is like, can we get just like a Christmas tree in that style, and maybe put a few nerdy ornaments because it's from me. And he was like, ornaments aren't going to look great. What about an advent calendar? And so again, this was design 0. He was like, hey, something like that. And I was like, oh yeah, it looks cool. And when I saw this, I was like, oh yeah, do little like tiny kitschy things like a sword or something. And he was like, what if, man? What if I do custom artwork for characters from all the episodes of Nerd? And I was
Zach,
like,
if you look closely, Zach says I was fully expecting a clawful.
now Zach, here's we got. I actually wanted to talk that Jeff because I laughed when I showed you this the first time.
Yeah, you can zoom on that, right? Because it's on the YouTube, it doesn't look particularly like I can't really see it very well, but you have that zoom button down at the bottom there.
Okay,
Yeah, which can
so
can give us a better view of all these things.
so
Like zoom in even more, dude.
that's what it's given me, Jeff. Although now I gotta go.
Oh, look
I
at
gotta go
that.
past the zoom, Jeff. There's the zoom button on the bottom, and now I gotta do super zoom with the control
That's
plus.
okay. Super zoom it then.
Good God, look at the detail on this. That I haven't done
So,
this either.
so start us at the top.
But by the way, that's the clawful, and we're gonna talk clawful first, and we'll get out. This was from the Masters of the
To
Force, like 2000 something line,
Masters of the
2000X,
Universe
Masters of the
2000X.
Universe, 2000X. Not Masters of the Fourth, a different line. So we did that, and this is the original clawful. Which, oh, by the way, did you catch this, Jeff? Now that I'm zoomed in, I requested this. We have Dre and Jeff make their
Oh,
appearance,
look at that on
and NVB. I said make sure your signature is somewhere on this thing, so that's where he put it. You could have plastered it all the way across. Nope, why? I do not want to comment on it. So, all right, but that's the original clawful, not the 2000X version. But in that episode with David Igo, you do bring up the infamous Jeff origin story at this point, right? About you and your brother fighting over the original clawful. So I'm going to
yeah.
still say it's canon because that clawful makes an
Oh, it
appearance in a
matters. It
meaningful
matters. I
way.
know that's not. I know that's not the 2000X, but who cares? Like it's still clawful. It
But I am
rules.
saying because that episode. No, so here's what I'm saying because we are nerds. If we had done 2000X and just discussed that toy line, and the original clawful explicitly did not make an appearance in the episode, I would give it to you. But because in that episode we discuss how you and your brother got in a fight over the original clawful and how you've been a clawful fan ever since, because that
Yeah,
appeared
that's
in the
perfect.
episode, it is fine to be there. Although I'm going to
Yeah.
stress this was not a back and forth discussion with me and Michael or MVB. I don't know what
No,
to
you
call it.
just let him do his thing. So we take a look at this page, right? This piece. And you look at the top and we have the title screen to Zelda 2,
Well,
right?
let's do a few more things first. Actually, oh my God, sorry. It's
Oh,
this is
okay.
I'm using like Google Drive. I'm not using like a good UI like Photoshop or anything. If you look, this was his request. He put a death. This is a. If you pan all the way out, it's in front of a window frame. It's an advent calendar, but it's a giant advent calendar. He wanted to add that explicitly because these are the. It's a He-Man and Skeletor action figure for perspective, so you can tell the size. That was his decision, and we'll see that in this frosted glass window, there is a Death Star in the background, which is really cool. He was like, "Do you think I should have a Death Star in the background?" And I was like, "Are you kidding? Yes, now." Like anytime he was like, "Would you like this?" I was like, "Well, now I do. 100% I do now." Um,
Yeah.
okay, but let's start at the top now. And this is every episode of Nerd in order. He is that amazing. I gave him a spreadsheet with some ideas, but then he went off on his own on some of these, and I'm absolutely thrilled.
Yeah. So as I was looking through this, of course we have our Link, our Zelda 2 Adventure of Link at the top, right?
And I
First
would
episode.
and I would be remiss not to shout this out. You are the ultimate video game nerd at this point. A fantastic video for Heritage Auctions on Tetris. And by the way, shout out to many people in the comment section right now. Jeff said that was like one of the most watched videos, if not the most watched videos by Heritage, and lots of comments. And I saw many likes and many comments from people. So thank you for that. Keep it up. And Jeff, just amazing stuff. Video game nerd. So
Oh yeah, that helped me out a lot. Yeah, they were very happy with that, I think. I
I mean,
hope.
I would
They
hope
seem
it wouldn't be like, hey, make a video for us, and like a lot of people watch this video. No, like, what are you
Yeah.
doing, Jeff? We didn't want anybody to watch it. Belongs in the museum. Okay, so we got
Yeah.
Zelda.
It seems pretty good. So we have Zelda, then we have Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Now,
So you have the
MV,
video game version of Mike.
MVB is traveling, and I can. It's a lot easier to say this in like spoken back and forth because you can give the context and nuance. Because I didn't want to email this. So a fact about Jeff is Jeff likes Black Santas. You have a collection of them, and that's something you put up. And I did want to be like, is there a way to get a black Santa on this tree? But I didn't want to be like, hey, please put a black Santa on the tree. But I was like, hey, could you put a stocking on Mike's head? So I got you that, but I was like, I could explain the nuance and stuff and all that, but I'm like, I still feel weird just putting that in an email. So that did go
I
out
mean,
though.
it's a Christmas gift and an advent calendar, so like it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like you didn't have to.
But yeah, but no, but he did. He put, you can see he put Christmas hats on somebody, and I asked for one on Mike Tyson explicitly for that reason. So Jeff, we get you that too. If we're getting deep cuts to Jeff.
Yeah, we got Quick Man from Mega Man 2. And then we have the go ahead.
Yeah, and yeah, I know we'll speed up on some or maybe just go slow, and that'll be the time. But and the one funny thing is myself, part of the so the Zelda 2 was the start of Nerd, and literally I was just like, I have put so much time and effort into this game. I don't know if I will ever have an excuse to talk about it. So when you put up the Patreon tier to make a podcast about anything, I didn't know how long it was going to go. I knew it was going to be at least one. So I was like, I got to at least do that. And you had been wearing a Zelda shirt on like a Q&A episode you'd done recently. That organically led to Mike Tyson's Punch Out because that's one of your favorite games. We bring it up there. Myself and friend in the comments, Landon, had been playing through all the Mega Man games with each other for fun. It was a competitive series at that point, and then Landon won 5-1, beating five of the original Mega Mans faster than I did. I only beat Mega Man 2 quicker. But we got into a nice argument about Quick Man and if he was cool and if boomerangs are cool. And yeah, when MVP put Quick Man on the thing, I told Landon, and Landon got a real kick out of that.
Nice. So we got that tick, which we love, and and Ben Edlin listened to the episode and promoted it.
I love that,
which is
tick.
fun. So then we have She-Ra from the He-Man and She-Ra Christmas special. Ewoks from we have a Wicket from Ewoks in the Battle for Endor.
Oh, and by the way, I would be remiss not to bring this out. You went out of your way because you had a Christmas themed boxing workout recently, which apparently is a thing, and you went out of your way to wear Orko shorts and then explicitly plugged the He-Man She-Ra Christmas special episode of Nerds. So thanks for that.
Yeah,
by the way, it's that time of year. If you're looking for good podcast episodes on the Nerd Network, the Nerd Sub Network, whatever you want to call it, Jeff, right? On Jeff Has Cool Friends, the Nerd episodes, there are some fantastic Christmas episodes, and you've also done some great ones at Gamefully Unemployed. So like, if you need good holiday listening, Jeff has got you covered. And I would say He-Man and She-Ra Christmas specials up there. And then you and Dave, Christopher Bell, talking the Alf Christmas special is another one of my favorites.
Well, tune in. If you like David Bell, tune in to the I Must Break You that's happening December 18th.
Oh, is that official? Is that official? Because you had said that was a maybe. So December 18th. Awesome.
Well, I mean, everything's a maybe until you're filming it, but...
But I mean, he's close enough to you, and you're pretty big. You can just like drag him, like you're holding David Christopher Bell up like a.
We have text. What I'm saying is, we've text confirmed that that's when we're going to do it.
Gotcha. That is awesome, and yeah.
So, we have the Ewoks Battle for Endor. So you got Wicket, who's your favorite. Gonzo from the Muppet Family Christmas, and then we have a Jawa from the Jawa deck. Because of the I
explicitly requested that because I said let me see, and I gotta look up one of the things because I'm trying to stall as we get to there. But yeah, you explicitly said that you were you like Jawa decks on that fantastic episode of
where we talked about the Star Wars CCG, yeah.
Yeah, and so I asked, I said, hey, can you please add a Jawa? And he's like, I've never drawn a Jawa, of course. And then
it doesn't seem like the hardest thing to draw, seeing as how it doesn't have a face.
Yeah. And then here's what we got. This is MV Branley art. So if we're giving you art people to follow on Instagram, he is one as well. And that's weird. Did I? Let me. Oh, I see
What
what
you
I did.
doing, bud?
All right, cool. I had a thing over a thing. All right, so but MV Brandley art, you can
Walker
see.
saying, "When's Kim's Buffy breaking episode?" Dude,
I
if
suspect
you had
that
any idea how hard it is to schedule something with
I would
Kim, I
suspect
don't
that
know what to
has
tell you.
less to do with Jeff than anyway. But yeah, so by the way, just pointing this out, on the Christmas tree, you will notice it is an Ashiok. I hope I'm not butchering that too much. But I believe that's the Ashiok is that character. And
Yeah, he did
MVB
the art for
actually
it, right?
drew that character for Wizards of the Coast. And he was like, "Hey, as an FYI, I've drawn this character. Can I put him on the tree?" And I was like, "Oh, hell yeah. Absolutely." So
Absolutely, man.
that's another like just a huge Easter egg on there to be like, yeah, the artist of this picture
Oh,
drew for one of the things we podcasted on and gets it on. It's just, the world imploding on itself. Oh, and Walker says he absolutely gets the joke. But someday,
yeah,
Jeff, someday. All right.
yeah. Someday. We have Pikachu from the episode on Pokemon with the lovely and hilarious Elise Golgowski. And then, of course, we have a Gremlins 2 scenario with our resident Mogwai Gizmo. Then a Five Goes West. We had Kim on that one.
Yeah,
Ninja Turtles
I'm
2 with
amazed that worked as well. Because to your point, I think that was, you can tell I'm a collector, right? A very
Mhm.
Benicio del Toro, whatever. Is that called just the collector or whatever in the MCU, like the character he is or
I
whatever?
believe he is the collector, yes.
Yeah, I'm very much that, I collate sets on this thing. And yeah, when the nerd show started getting steam, when it was like obvious we were just going to keep going, till we're both dead because we're never going to run out of nerdy topics, Jeff. I was like, it would be really cool to start getting, I was like, I would love to have Kim on because then that's everybody on the Jeff May universe. And then, we'll get Adam Todd Brown on and Tom Ryman and Dave Bell. So I have, and then, and now like Logan Trent. So I have starting to be like, hey, I would like to start collecting folks. So I asked that like, hey, could you schedule Kim to watch an episode, watch a movie and do that? And that went off surprisingly swimmingly for me. But could be. I didn't realize this. There's the mistletoe above Raphael, but I love that
Oh,
for
because
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2.
Ninja Turtles 2, yeah. So we did the Ninja Turtles 2 episode with somebody did that episode with us. I don't remember
The
who.
Better Alvarez, the one
Yeah,
you
yeah.
like Daniel
So
better
of
than me.
course
It's cool. Yeah.
we get our searching for Bobby Fischer, our pawn, right?
Pawn wins
And
at the
then
end of the game, promotes the white pawn to win. So I do not
yeah,
know if that was because I'll throw like in two, which we'll talk in a second. He definitely made the very like Easter egg thing. So I don't know if and apologies, Michael or MVB. We'll learn more in the future. Hopefully, I'm hoping to do more content with him as well when we talk more. I would just say, so I don't know if he knows it that well, and we'll discuss if I should call him Michael or MVB. Both are so cool. MVB, sounds like a sports nickname, but the white
like
pawn being like the
MVP,
key
yes.
piece that wins everything, absolutely huge. Okay,
Yeah, no, it's brilliant. And then of course we have the So Cool license plate from Adventures in Babysitting, of course. That's what's his name? Why am I blanking? The guy from Get Out.
yeah, the boy Drew or whatever, right? Her ex boyfriend, played by the Jake Peralta's dad on. Oh my God, it's too late
Wait,
because
what? It's Bradley Whitford is
Brad
the character
Whitford
is
and
the
that
actor name.
anyway. And then this was
But
one, this made me so happy because when I first saw this, I didn't quite realize it because, I was able to, from 10,000 feet, it's really easy to tell the different episodes, right? You see Raphael, you know who that is. And then I was like, what is that like Phoenix looking thing there? Like, what episode was that? It was Mike, by the
I
way.
knew it right away.
And it was the turtle dove. And
Turtle
I was like,
doves.
oh my God, you got a turtle dove ornament in an advent. Like, just look at the like I don't know, that just like hit the nerd nerve in me so well to get the turtle
Yeah,
dove ornament on the Christmas tree for the nerd Christmas tree on the nerd up. Like, just come on, Jeff. Like, how can you not?
yeah, no, it's great.
And by the way, because you asked me to like zoom in, I'm getting to like I'm gonna compliment this in a very Star Wars fashion for MVB. I'm going to stick with MVB for the rest of the show. And I'll be like, I hate MVB. I'm like, I'm so sorry. But like the Star Wars thing of like lived in, right? That's why the Star Wars movies played so well, right? Is because the universe looked lived in. You look at the details on this, right? And like how this is
It
an
looks like
advent
it's
calendar and like they're not all the same and like one got a little bent and this one's a little
it
torn.
it,
This is
and it
so
looks like it's made of
damned
cardboard.
good.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, you can even tell. I got to see this because I got to see, and I'll show some of the pieces as it goes. Right, the different thing, the different not shading and what, but like clearly the lighting, right? So this is a lived-in universe. It's in front of a thing. He's
Yeah.
got the lighting correct. I did computer graphics, which does a lot with like lighting and how you do things, and so like an artist just doing this naturally is so damned
Yeah.
amazing. So just great work.
It is really cool. So yeah, of course we have Tony Stark from our Iron Man 3 episode. I believe that was a gift, right? That was one of the gifts to the Patreon.
Yeah, the Iron Man 3 was last year's special gift. And then
Yeah,
also
because that just
recently.
released for free.
Shout out recently, and I gave you extra work, I'm so sorry, but Adam Todd Brown did an episode on modern day Christmas movies, like best modern day Christmas movies. Shocker, Elf won. But he went to bat for Iron Man 3 and said Iron Man 3 is 100% a Christmas thing. And I was just like, I'm shouting in my car. I'm like, yeah, Adam, I tagged you both on Blue Sky, which is where you can find me. Nerd numbers for myself on Blue Sky. Hey there, Jeffro, Jeffro for Jeff May. I'll do
I'm
one more.
also official TSO on Blue
Oh my
Sky.
God, that's hilarious. I didn't get that at first because I saw your response. Like you were making fun of some people from Worcester. And I was like, wow, are they actually doing it? And
The day I made the account, my first catch when I made the account was a dude complaining about the Worcester show and the AI art, which I agree with him, but I was pretending to be Trans-Siberian Orchestra. So I basically just kept giving him a hard time about being from Worcester, and he was losing his mind. It was so funny.
I love it. And that, yeah.
Yeah. So next we got Ed O'Neill as Dutch, which I was like, oh, like hell yeah.
That's so. And again, like that's the thing is when I requested this initially, I was thinking a nice looking Christmas tree and 5 or 6 ornaments because that seemed reasonable to me for like the size of the project I was asking for. So when he's like, I'll draw something for every episode, and I'm like, some of these are going to be, I'm like, I don't know what you're going to do for Dutch. He's like, yeah, somehow how small is this? Maybe like 1.5 inches by an inch. Like the detail on that, like to do that, just
Yeah.
so good. So
No,
amazing.
it's great. I mean, he's the M Bison for Street Fighter the movie. And I'm actually really glad he used video game Bison for the Street Fighter the movie because like Raul Julia, he didn't look healthy as Bison in that movie.
Yeah, and then I've got no complaints. It goes both
Yeah.
ways. You laughed at this, so Jeff, sorry. We get to add on to stupid lore that comes up on the Nerd Show. So
Mhm.
again, friend of the show, Landon, loved the Doom movie with his brother because there is I argue intentional. You argue no one puts that much thought into it. I disagree. Thought that the kid in the Doom movie is, and I might even have that autograph nearby, but the kid in the Doom movie might be Doom Guy because the backstory for the Doom game is that the Doom Guy refused to fire on civilians, and that's why he was assigned the outpost on Mars where they attack. So in the Doom movie, we have this character named the Kid who says he's not going to shoot on civilians, and it's like, oh, is he going to become the Doom Guy? And of course not. It's Keith Urban, but I brought that up, and you're like, that is a ridiculous theory. Who thinks that? I do. But then when you saw this, you said the Doom Guy looks a heck of a lot like Master Chief. So we get to go one further, guy. Doom Kid becomes Master Chief, Jeff. It's canon.
Is that canon?
No, absolutely not. But I'm
No, it's not. Yeah. Next, we have the Double Dragon medallion from the Double
looking
Dragon
infinitely
episode.
better than the movies one. In fact, that might be my not a complaint, but I'm just like, you actually made this look too good. Like if this had been
Yeah,
in
it
the
looks
movie, we
better
might have
than it
accepted
deserves.
it. The movie one looks so fucking cheap. Anyway, this was a personal
mean-
request here. The next one coming up.
The next one being the Pimp Destro from the G.I. Joe: A Real American Hero.
Which Adam Todd Brown bought in the middle of the episode, so I was like, absolutely need to get that on there, which he was willing to do, which I was a fan of.
Yeah. We actually this is actually really cool. So this the stormtrooper from the Power of the Force episode that we did with Ken Napzok, right? That is definitely a drawing of that toy because he's so broad chested.
Oh yeah, like the
And
when you were talking.
yeah, they're not it's not as pronounced. Like they made him like more superhero muscular in the in that line. And you can tell that it's a very specifically the toys. Like he did a great job invoking the bulk of the toy.
And then we already discussed this, but the original clawful, like it's not shocking. You can tell it's very obvious from these three, and then the I think he said he had his own He-Man and Skeletor to model off of. Not shocking, right?
Yeah,
So
those that He-Man and Skeletor are from the Motu Origins series.
so
Those
yeah,
are the ones that have been out recently.
and so you can absolutely tell MVB's love of figures. And he wanted to do I asked for a Clawful, and he said he wanted to do the original one. And we already discussed how that is completely justified
Yeah.
because you discussed the original Clawful on that episode.
Yeah.
One of my favorites
Plus,
with
that's
David
the
Iger.
clawful I fell in love with, you know?
Yes.
Yeah. Zach saying yes, he agreeing it's 100% powers of the force, yeah. Then we got Chewbacca from Masters of Terrascasi.
With the hat, which I love this. I mean, you could maybe even make like a Christmas the Star Wars Christmas special joke because he's got the Santa hat. I just
Yeah.
man, so good.
And then the Machine from WMAC Masters
This
with
was
Logan Trent.
this was one of the only changes because originally I asked him to draw like a piece of the Dragon Star, and unlike the Double Dragon, it didn't look as good. And I like the Machine. This is such a cool picture of the Machine. I actually really think
Yeah,
that's cool.
that Machine looks good. This Leslie Nielsen from Surf Ninjas is so incredible.
I zooming in on this was ridiculous, Jeff, because I knew I saw it at this level, which already looks fantastic. And I
Yeah.
had, I think I probably, I've got a pretty big monitor, so I probably got it about this resolution here. But mother,
Mhm.
I've wasted too many of my curse bombs on the show already. Zooming in at this detail, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
Love that
And then
Nielsen.
of course Count Chocula, my favorite. So don't think I
Everybody's.
didn't notice of all the choices. It would have been funny if you put Carmela Creeper or whatever her name is,
Yeah,
or Carmela Crunch.
yeah, whatever. We
Uh,
kept getting, yeah, neither of us have tried it. Adam Todd Brown bit the bullet for us and said, don't try it. So I was like,
he's like, you're good. And then finally, The Undertaker, of course, from the Thanksgiving episode because he premiered on Thanksgiving night.
and I love that episode. I mean, I'll throw this out. Like, if there is, it's more a matter of logistics, and like we're gonna have to ask people not to spoil shit. I can 100% try and make this happen next year if I remember. But we did have some requests. They said David Bell doing wrestling and playing Alive or Dead with you, Jeff, was fun. So
Oh yeah, yeah. The Alive or Dead game that we played with David Bell on that episode might be some of the most feedback I've ever gotten on a specific segment of the show.
and there's been some stuff I was like debating trying to, and I might still do this, like trying to make a like play your own Alive or Dead just infographic or something. But yeah, as you can tell, like I didn't do I Must Drake You last week. A lot of busyness. I mentioned kid's birthday was recently, Thanksgiving was recently, all of that. But this arrived, and I was I just had to show. And I'm not so a few cool notes. You will notice this was another request. I asked explicitly for a border on it, and I asked for it to be in the dimensions, just the length, width, proportions of a trading card. Now, I wouldn't want to ever, I mean, it does actually not look that half bad, but I wouldn't necessarily want to shrink it to trading card size, but would be, able to say, like the Ken Griffey Jr. rookie card blow up I got you. It wouldn't even look bad at that size. Wouldn't look bad at flyer size. You said you're going to look into some stuff for this. I'm not 100% sure. Of course, if you go over to the Gamefully Unemployed t-shirt shop, and I might try and get that really quick. But if you go over like there, right, they sell various things. And so I'm not ever sure if that would be viable or at some point in the future would be fun, right? But I will say that MVB did basically say, his blessing for that, do more with it if we wanted to. So that could be fun in the future, depending on where things go and if what time we get.
Well, that's why you got Dre. You got to come back out. You got to come back out to LA so I can I can get some of these made and then you can autograph them.
Well, we could do like you autograph like Series 1, I autograph Series 2, or we could do like the back and forth. I mean, that's the thing that we have gotten into before is 100% that some of the logistics, like if I tried to send you stuff, that adds shipping and handling. Anytime you're asking for something where you have to start adding shipping and handling, we do wind up in that position of that adds overhead and how to reduce it. Then some of those costs have even been going up, as you mentioned, recently. Again, go over to patreon.com/Jeff May so that you can actually get the rookie card tiers, because those will be going up just to account for the cost of shipping and handling, which is going to be happening in the near future. And it is one of the best deals on the web. Jeff breaks packs of cards every Wednesday. Jeff sends those out in the mail to people. A fantastic deal, which, yeah. Let's go back here.
I mean, we try.
It's not a joke. It absolutely is. And by the way, just for perspective, this is NVB's great Gamefully Unemployed banner.
Yeah, there I am
And
walking a dinosaur.
Jeff is walking a dinosaur as Mulder is punching E.T. And you're like, it looks like you're taking the dinosaur to the Batmobile.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know. I love that. You're wearing a Batman shirt. You're wearing a tank top. Are you wearing the May hat, or is it just hard to tell? I can't tell from the wrist.
I mean, I don't know. He's
you might
so
be.
small.
It looks like you have sunglasses on, so I can buy that the sunglasses are blocking that. And by the way, just a couple. So this was like getting to see work in progress. So this was the other cool part, is watching this develop. So watching as he started coloring it, black and white originally.
I'm just seeing the process, yeah.
And again, I mentioned this was a gift to you, and about 10 to 15 emails in, this was a very collaborative process. I cannot, obviously Gamefully loves them. Obviously now we over at Jeff Has Cool Cards love him. But if you can get MV Brandley's services, and I messed that up. I was going to go for MVB and I did all three, whatever. If you can get his services, 100% worth it. But then halfway into this process, like, oh, I got this as a really personal gift to Jeff. And because of all the stuff he offered, I'm going to make it a nerd advent calendar. And I'm going to act like I didn't know all of these, right? I knew a couple of them. I knew this so cool. I requested that. And I requested the Jawa. And I requested the Link Sword. And I think I requested Wicket. But yeah, and Deathstroke. But a lot of these were ones he decided, and he even pushed back. I was like, "Hey, don't burn yourself out drawing really complicated stuff. You can draw simple stuff." He was like, "No, I want to draw." So that Gonzo, I had no idea that was coming. That's just remarkable. That Leslie Nielsen. Yeah, again, you said that zoom. Look at the detail on that zoomed in. That is ridiculous. That is the final product. Is this the request was this which he gave, but you zoom in and you're like, "Holy hell." Look at how freaking good that is. So I was getting surprised along the way, and I was like, oh, I bought me a Christmas gift. But we both get to enjoy it, Jeff. I'm like, Merry Christmas. Right? I got me a gift,
It's too. Pretty cool. Well, yeah, I mean, Dre, you have every right. I hope you're going to print one.
Yeah, that's what I don't know the final thing of, is I don't know. You got your printer. We can talk stuff. But yeah, I mean, and because it's twofold, right? Because that's the other part of the card thing. Is another thing that randomly popped up is we had Nick Cowan on for the Surf Ninjas episode, and if you look over at Nick Cowan's Instagram, which is Undead Guy, he does his own art. He's a fantastic. You have a lot of artist friends, and
yeah, it's crazy, right?
Yeah, right. They're amazing artists, and it just baffles me. And it's funny because I think you have more artist friends than me, because when I was describing, I'm like, oh, and I asked MVB for this, and in less than a day he turned it around. It was amazing. You're like, yeah, artists do that. And I'm like, but it's magic. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense, Jeff. I'm like, I don't understand. How can you draw that in less than half a day? It's like a Salieri scenario for me, except I'm just never gonna do it. I'm just like, oh, Mozart's incredible. Man, good job, Mozart. You're pretty cool. I'm like, good luck with that. I'm not even gonna try. But no, like, so you kind of knew it. But yeah, Undead Guy has some like Surf Ninja art, and like at some point
Oh
I was
yeah.
like, yeah, like if cards or whatever are ever a thing, because that's like your brand. And I thought this was like a nice, cool one. So that was the theme there. So who knows? Like we've been given carte blanche for the future, right, to do something with this. This is merchable at minimum. We are based on, it's going to come down to your schedule and availability for this year, but 100% going to try and do some merch stuff with that and possibly even more in the future.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, we're looking at it. We're working on it. We've got this beautiful piece here, and I absolutely love it. So let us let us see what we can do
And
to
and
make
and
it
I will
just so.
definitely throw this to you, Jeff, because I wasn't 100% sure, and now that you have your printing place, if you have a specific size, shape, output you want, and especially, even if you're able to get, matting or whatever cheap, if you know someone, let me know. I will 100% cover that because, of course, I wanted the design, but of course, getting a full print or whatever to you is not as easy, especially if you're there.
No,
And
no,
I
no.
did joke to you with that too when I gave this to you. I was like, Jeff, I got you a Christmas gift, and I'm like, and in classic Dre fashion, it comes with work for you. And you're like, yeah, I'd expect nothing less. And I was like, good.
I'm very happy with it. I love it. I'm very grateful for it, and I can't wait to see what it looks like physically. And who knows, maybe they'll show up, and you know, maybe we'll offer it as merch. Maybe who knows what we'll do, but
We got options. You and I can
it's
discuss more back and forth. And I will say for sure,
yeah.
though, go into the comments of the YouTube video because that does help us out. Say your favorite parts of it, say any comments. You can go over patreon.com/Jeff May. There is an original post for this show that we just did, this episode. Go in there in the comments. Again, helps out, lets people know. So, like, yeah, give engagement. And again, let's see. So that is MV Bramley Art over on Instagram. Absolutely, if we got a couple, maybe I'll get a list when we're done, Jeff, to collate. But it is just Mark Pignatar, Magic Marker Art, MV Bramley Art, Oliver. If you're down, I think someone said, did you put your handle in the chat?
Oliver is I can sort of draw-ish.
So when we're done with this, Jeff, I am just going to go to Blue Sky and like put a list and say follow these artists. So Oliver, you are included. But yeah, just amazing artists and an Undead Guy as well. So just amazing artists to follow. Amazing final thing. We can go from there. Jeff, let's do the classic end. Anything else in the week? So we already know tomorrow. You're such a jerk, Jeff. I really am debating. I can't stay up late, but I'm debating staying up late. I'm excited for that episode. Randall Maynard hits tomorrow if you're on the Patreon. So if you're not on the Patreon, what are you doing? Also, by the way, random note, and Jeff, I'll look at this more with you maybe this month. Apparently, Patreon offers gifts now. You can gift subscriptions, and you can even gift up to a year. So if you are looking for a last second gift, may I suggest patreon.com/Jeff May, a year subscription to all of the podcasts. That's Nerd with myself and Jeff. You get that early and occasionally bonuses. We'll hopefully do more in the future, depending on how many people subscribe. Jeff Has Cool Friends, which you both get early and with bonus content. And Ugg Fine with Kim Crawl, which is a complete Patreon exclusive. That's an amazing gift. And you could give a full year for like $60, and I think Patreon like knocks off some if you do that. So Jeff gets paid less, but you get more. Patreon.com/Jeff May. I don't think you can currently gift the rookie card tiers. I may have to talk with Jeff about that if that's even something we want to look into. But I know for a fact you can gift Patreon subscriptions to patreon.com/Jeff May. And I am telling you, fantastic gift if you're looking for something. I would say, like, I already have it, of course, so don't worry about me. But, like, Jeff and I are getting up there in age where you have too much shit and you just want to get rid of it. And so that's why digital things like this are fantastic for me. That is why things like Patreon subscriptions are fantastic. So I am just going to shout that out as a gift idea. Again, patreon.com/Jeff May. Jeff, what else you got on the docket after Randall Maynard this week?
Well, let's see. I'm still Kim and I, because of the way her scheduling is looking, she's traveling and she's going to be gone for like a couple weeks. We're actually going to merge the November and December episodes of Ugfine into one very specific like year in review episode. So it's going to be a little bit longer, a little bit more, expressive and stuff. But
And you could call it, I
you
guess,
know,
official, unofficial. She recorded her special, which is
she
called,
did, yeah, which
which
is
is
why we couldn't really record in November because like she was just so busy.
oh, what it's how did I just drop the name? But it is what like something filth, right? How am I dropping this? My
Yeah,
brain
off the
is
top of my head. I know it was unfortunate, but she booked it on a Thursday night, which is like the one major night that I'm like almost always booked.
charming filth. So you can follow
Charming stuff here.
Kim Crawl over at you know, Instagram as Kim Crawl, patreon.com Kim Crawl.
KYMKRAL, yeah.
Thank you so much. I'll put that over there briefly, but you can see Kim Crawl. Follow her as well. And yeah, she was recording her special on her stuff. She's discussed that. I think you discussed a little bit of that on last episode of Ugfine, but that just makes sense to basically just. And then of course this hit us and you as well. Like November is a horrible month if you're trying to record for the end of the month because the last week of the month is Thanksgiving, and a lot of
Yeah.
people, you included, me included, have travel or family plans during that period of time. So yes, Kim Crawl, Charming Filth. Keep your ears, eyes peeled for when that is released.
Yeah, I
Ugfine
mean that's
year
probably
end.
going to take another 6 months to a year.
Nice.
So,
So like from initial
those
recording,
like
that'll be interesting to hear. And I know you'll talk that because like behind the curtains of stand up comedy, releasing an album, there's been a lot of, the getting a venue, getting there, how to do the recording, etc. So I will be excited to follow more of that journey as it comes. So, but on Wednesday, you do have the I Must Break You, and I'm not sure if you know yet or if you want to tease anything or if you're still ruminating.
I haven't decided what I want to do yet. I have to because I did Marvel last week, right? I did She-Hulk last week.
I
So
love
if
those
I
cards
don't
with the exclusion that I can't remember her Titania, right?
Tatiana Mosley.
Yeah, like agreed. She's on the front of the box.
Oh, you mean Titania? Yeah. Yeah. What's her name
yeah,
from
from
The
the
Good
Good Place.
Place?
Yeah, she's on the front of the box. You didn't draw a single.
Jamila Jamil.
Yeah, you didn't draw a single card of hers. I
No,
don't
I don't
believe.
think I did, which was like
I
a
don't
little
believe it.
bit.
And Cardboard Connection doesn't have a collated list yet. I watched it late, but I did hop over there to look up like odds and stuff. Your case, your box sits and stuff, etc. have not been fantastic recently, but the cards themselves are really cool. But yeah, she's on the cover of the box. But okay, so you did that. You don't know what you're doing this week. You did
So
She-Hulk
like
last
it
week.
might be a Star Wars so like spoiler alert for those of you that are wondering if it's all arbitrary or random. I try to do one Star Wars and one superhero at least. Like I try to do that at least. Like I try to mix the those two things and then try to get weird with it. Maybe a vintage weirdo, maybe something that we wouldn't normally do, like a magic marker art piece, or
Robin Hood,
like
Prince of
A
Thieves.
box of Robin Hood cards or something. Yeah, like weird stuff.
Well, again, when we're talking about engagement, that means if you sound up in the comments here, right today, or go to patreon.com/Jeff May, we hear you. I'll throw that out. So you can absolutely do that if you're looking for
So
something.
Oliver said she crushed it too. Oliver, did you go to that recording? Did you go to Kim's recording? That's real. That's really. Or Oliver said in the comments she crushed it too.
Yeah, keep us posted, Oliver, if that's the key, because I'm curious how many because she has discussed it on her, Kim Cross of Patreon as well has discussed some of that, and it was a small venue, and she had like a ticketing thing where like too many were released, so it was like it was actually hard to get in. So Oliver, impressive work getting in. That means you got in on it early.
Yeah, right. That's rad as hell.
All right.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, he did.
So Thursday, by the way, Jeff, I know this. Your classic. I'm assuming you're doing the Mike Mayhew Studios as normal.
I will be with Mike Mayhew Studios. I will be with Mike Mayhew Studios on Thursday at Whatnot. I'm trying to see like what I have going on. I should theoretically have a mailbag on Friday. I
So
do
I,
my
I
best
actually
to.
know. I mean, this is so rough because I think I hit you with multiple things when you're out of town. There have been a few mailbags where you have a bunch for me, and it's funny because it's over the course of weeks. Or I ordered some
Yeah.
stuff off of eBay, and I'm like, okay, this will drop over the course of 4 weeks. And they're like, what if we all just deliver it at the exact same time? And I'm like, that's not what you're supposed to do. I do believe you have a package from me. You showed one on last one. I think you have one more from me. So there's at least some content there, I believe.
Yeah, there's one thing because like the thing about it too is like sometimes like I'll get a package when I'm on the way outside or whatever, and I'll be like, I gotta put this somewhere, and then I just like forget
Well,
can't remember where I put
Well,
it for.
also last week I know for a fact because you had to move Mint on Card, which would normally be what the second Friday of every month. You had to move
It's normally the second. Yeah.
you moved it to the first Friday last week, and then because you love your fans and because you missed a break for Thanksgiving, which is forgivable. Most people just take that Thanksgiving week off, which would have been fine too. But that's how much of a mensch you are. You said you missed a break, so I'm going to give you a break. So I know for a fact logistically you needed to be running out the door for your Mint on Card comedy show, but you still broke some cards for us on Mailbag Friday. So I got it. I'm like you don't need to break everything. You may have a few other things lying around, but hopefully, I mean, if you've got time and want to do a Mailbag Friday this Friday, I am down for it. And again, that's why you need to press that like and subscribe here at Jeff Has Cool Cards so you know when that happens.
Yeah. Yeah, like and subscribe.
Yeah, yeah.
Do it.
So there might be. So
Do it.
we got Thursday. We might have a Friday. Just
Yeah.
like.
Wednesday, Tom and Jeff Watch Batman's gonna drop a very cool
Oh yeah,
episode.
this is different. So this is
Um,
different than what we've been getting, which is also good
yeah, and
stuff.
I'm not gonna spoil that, but yeah, it's pretty cool.
So Gamefully Unemployed, Tom and Jeff watch Batman on Wednesdays. Yeah, but we got lots. Jeff, it's the Christmas season, which means Santa Jeff is here. So keep your ear close
Yeah,
to it.
you'd think I wouldn't have enough time, but I
How
don't.
do
But
you
we do
visit?
extra stuff anyway.
I was gonna say, how do you visit every house? Like I don't
And
know how
you'd
you
be
do.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be right. All right, last couple of things again. Hey there, Jeffro, on all of the socials for you, right? Nerd numbers on most of the socials for me.
Yeah. Zach
Uh,
says maybe you could do a Patreon vote for breaks, not every time, but maybe every couple of months. Yeah, that's not a bad idea, Zach.
yeah, there's
I could do I could do like I can do little like what do they call them, their surveys or
Yeah,
whatever.
I mean, I remember when you did one where I think you had either Marvel Series 2, like an early Impel. And when you asked, I was just like, I'm glad this is a captcha because you asked like four different sets, and one of them I think it was like 200 a box, and the others were like 50 to 100 a box, and
Yeah,
we all
but
went for the
you know,
expensive one. And I'm like, I'm glad that your listeners know the good, like you offer
yeah, they
someone free booze, and they go top shelf, and you're like, all right, well, that's what I get for offering free booze to my friends. But it was a good break.
yeah, yeah, I enjoyed it. And I grabbed some more stuff to give away for people, like so I got some cards, Black Friday hooked it up.
I
I
was a
got I
big
got a present for you, Dre, that you should I will be mailing out relatively soon. I have to collate a bunch because you're also hard because even though you're a member of the rookie card tier, you're like, don't send me the normal size package. Like I don't want it.
well, yeah. Well, it's
So I
fun. Well,
like
it's funny
I
because
basically like piece together packages for you and
yeah, going behind the
you have the
curtain, it
what
gets
a
so
Dre
funny
wants.
too because you see me. I'm on your network. I am in the same. It's a weird. I can't call it hell. It's like it's a weird. Feels monkey paw curse, right? It is so damn fun opening cards, Jeff. It's the best. You sound like an addict saying that. I'm aware. And then when you're done, you have all of these cards and all of this mess. And so when you're like, Dre, would you like me to send you cards? I'm like, well, if they're if they're the rogue ones, if they're the special ones, sure. But I'm also like worry about and I don't want, and that's the other thing is I want fans of your network to get the good stuff. So I don't want to be like, send me that really cool card and deprive someone else of it. So I am aware that I have made your life harder because I'm just like, please don't send me normal stuff. I have too many normal cards. send me
Yeah.
the special stuff, but only if you want to. If no one else wants it, and you're just like,
Yeah, but that's also
yeah,
stupid.
yeah.
Like I have a couple envelopes, a couple of padded envelopes, or like one or two. Like I just basically have a bunch of stuff in a big friggin' envelope that I've been sitting on because I'm like, well, it would be silly to mail Dre an envelope with like 3 cards in it. But yeah.
Absolutely fine. I'm looking forward to that. That will, I mean, depending on when that arrives, will be a future I Must Drake You episode. Anything else to plug, Jeff, before we head out of here?
No, not that I could think of. Just you guys, if you can subscribe, obviously, and do all the stuff, we really appreciate that. You guys are great, and it means a lot to us that you guys let us do these. I Must Break You will be Wednesday at 1 o'clock. Let me know if you guys like that time. If you want me to push it to like 3 o'clock or something like that, I could
I
start
would.
to maybe do that.
Here's my
It's just
annoying thing,
dark.
Jeff.
It just gets
I
dark.
love the current time. I just want more of it, and I'm aware this is the hard thing to say, which is just like, if more people subscribe, if more people sign up, not even for the rookie card tiers, just for the lowers, that gives us so much more flexibility, and that's what I want. So like, if we get more people watching, more people listening, more people subscribing, that gives a bigger budget to buy more cards for Jeff, to send more stuff out. And then Zach in
That's
the
very
comments
true.
was suggesting like, hey, vote in the boxes. Like, I kind of want to make it more complicated and convoluted, Jeff. Like, have boxes fight or something, or figure something out. But again, love the ideas and lots of. Rest assured, Jeff has an annoying Iago talking parrot in me on his ear, giving tons of ideas and suggestions, and we are both excited for the upcoming year to do more stuff. So, Jeff, 2 years of nerd. I could not have thought of a better way than MVB doing this, which was well above and beyond what I was even expecting. So I'm just going to say that though on this episode as we end this off. Thanks everybody for staying late, but it has been a blast, Jeff. This is one of the most fun things, if not the most. No, it's not. It's easy. The most fun thing I've ever project I've had the pleasure of being a part of. It has been a blast. This almost self whatever you want to call it homage to it that I gave you is huge, and I hope you enjoy it half as much as I do, because it has been fun and a blast, and looking forward to more.
I'm having a blast with you, Ray.
All right,
All right,
well,
everybody. Have a great night.
let's see. I'll just play us out, and then I will cut the thing off for you, Jeff. Let me get back over there. Slide intro is the same thing. Is always good. I had too many. The only problem with today is so many windows up. I'm not even going to do music. Good night, everybody. The music thing disappeared behind everything else. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Let's see, though. Can I rip you off, though, Jeff? Let's do this. Can I do the... Let's see.
Thumb up.
Thumb.
You nice and slow. Give it your time.